Welcome everyone to our special talk today, highly requested around the world, Sexual Alchemy, the spiritual fuel for your long life and enlightenment. It's good to have a long life and enjoy life and have fun, isn't it? Especially this time that we have all this pandemic crisis. We've been quarantined for a long time and we have been suppressed and we are in self-isolation. Some areas are still in self-isolation and quarantine. So I opted to have this beautiful view in my MDP village spiritual retreat place, resort in the Philippines. And you're welcome to come here because we have abundance of air. We have the mountains behind me. So even there's an ambient noise, bear with me because I prefer to lecture and talk outside the room and be in a very beautiful environment. So welcome to the MDP village where I am. Now, the topic requires me to elaborate on the subject of long life or longevity and also on enlightenment, and then connecting to the spiritual fuel called the elixir of life, the sexual alchemy process. I have based this on my book, Sexual Alchemy and Divine Intimacy, and also on the higher science of longevity, my book. And these are my two books which I based this lecture. So I did not pick it from the air. I have researched this for a long time and more than 3 decades of my life researching all of these, traveling around the world, talking to a lot of people with, I call super centenarians, those who have lived more than 110-year-old, which I've interacted, talked to, and even healed. And also my Higher Science of Longevity book, which is also an important landmark of this talk. And I'd like to honor all of you. I'd like to honor all of you who are interested to extend your lifespan, at the same time have fun. Not only in the sense of sexuality, but in the sense of bringing this elixir of life as a way of life to your lovemaking, to your romance, also to your extending your lifespan by circulating into your body if you want to revitalize your organs, if you want to rejuvenate your cells, and also it's looked like a stem cell effect or a growth hormone effect on you if you are able to alchemize this energy. Let's start first with the idea of longevity, because I think with all this COVID-19 scare, I think it's good to talk about something that will be more positive, like living longer instead of dying earlier. Also, instead of suppressing ourselves in terms of our lives in quarantine, let's talk about having fun and enjoying life through sexuality and even intimacy. All right, now longevity and enlightenment are also connected with sexual alchemy and the elixir of youth called the alchemized sexual energy. I will talk about this in a few minutes, and then I will give you some sample techniques how to use this every day or every week so that you can apply this in your life, not only as a theory, but also an applied science. Now, longevity, as in increasing your lifespan, can be made possible not only through medication or through vitamin therapy or massage or normal exercise. It's about the elixir of life and youth, and this is derived from your energy field. Okay, so when you want to live longer using this, even without a partner, so if you have a partner, it's fine. You can use your sexual intimacy as a stimulation point to start arousing the energy to go into a high pleasure point where you can use these pleasure points to be able to stimulate the metabolic processes to irrigate your body, your cells, your organs, your immune system with this kind of the elixir of youth. So when you say increasing your lifespan, well, of course, DNA and inheritance can also come with long life or diseases. But you can prolong your life by stimulating certain parts of the body that stimulates the long life chi. For example, in your navel is an energy which stimulates lifespan to be extended, or it is the postnatal chi or prana or energy that we call it in yoga and in qigong and martial arts that is housed in your navel. So we'll talk later on how to stimulate that. So having a long life, not in bed, not with diseases, not with chronic conditions of pain. I mean a healthy aging, an ability to reverse your age through certain measures of energy, of course, exercises, breathing, meditation, and so on, and a good lifestyle. But using the energy alone, it will already be an advantage. Okay? So, long life, extending your lifespan through using a healthy approach to energy management is one thing. I will talk about energy management later on. Sexual alchemy that will lead you to have more enlightened life is also another thing that I can talk about in terms of the stimulation of the energy on the sexual area to be able to circulate in your whole body and not only experience sometimes what we call the total body orgasm. Now, I'm talking here as a professional mentor to a lot of students around the world, so don't take my words like a very malicious about sexuality. I hope we're all open up to this, and make sure that we will be able to discuss this without me inhibiting my words so that I can express the terminologies as they are in a more esoteric way, in a spiritual way, in a more medical way, or even in a more spiritual way, so that I can talk without having to inhibit myself and audit my words, because I'm thinking that in the audience somebody is cursing me because of the word sexual or sexuality. So please open your mind to listen to me, and let's learn together and partner in this process of the journey of enlightenment, the journey of extending our lifespan, the journey of exploring this sexual alchemy process to be able to give our life more meaning, more enjoyment, and also a more enlightened life. Okay, we have first to talk about the energy anatomy. If I want to elaborate this, I need to talk to you about the human aura and the sexual energy that is stimulated during the awakening. And what is stimulated? Well, we have something we call the sacred fire. For those who are healers doing yoga or people who are in the spiritualistic movement, you can hear the word kundalini, sacred sex, sacred fire, divine light. These are terms we need to introduce to you so that you can be able to decipher a lot of the combination, compounding subjects that we can talk about. Now, if you look at the energy of a person clairvoyantly, there are 3 layers of the aura. One layer of the aura is the vitality aura, which increases your endurance, your stamina, your agility, and your physical presence or energy presence. That's your human aura. It is around 3 feet wide for normal people. As you become more powerful, your power presence increases because your aura can extend to a few meters or a few feet. And very advanced masters, they can have aura bigger than a continent or even more. So that's how their influence can affect humanity and the world. But if you started with a no meditation background, this human aura can be used for healing. It is where the toxicity is deposited in the body, not only the physical, but in the consciousness. And these are the energy field that we use for healing and removing toxins, adding vibrational colors to heal people, including COVID-19, HIV, AIDS. I've been healing a lot of these as part of my project on the World Institute for Incurable Diseases. Now, the second layer of the aura is the emotional aura, sometimes called the astral aura. For healers, this is common to you. Astral projection, astral travel, out-of-body experience. These words mean almost the same as when you sleep, this emotional aura goes out of body and your body and energy stays in bed, but your emotional aura goes out and travel in different zip codes of consciousness called dimensions or inner world. So this emotional aura is where you feel people. This is where you generate emotions and feelings. This is where you feel anger, envy, anxiety, and so on. So this energy field is very important to understand because this is where you feel a lot of the pleasure during lovemaking. It is where you can experience a heart orgasm or emotional orgasm, which I don't have time to define everything, but these are the pleasure of lovemaking that you can feel in your entire aura and your entire body when you're having this total body orgasm, if you know how to distribute the pleasure from the sexual region to different parts of the aura during lovemaking, resulting to extensive pleasure that is implosive or explosive. Now, when you are with angry people or stressed people, you can feel this energy coming to you even without talking, without even listening to the person. You feel that something is negative around you brought by this person, and their presence is with stress, with anger, or with negative intentions. You can feel it in your heart, in here, or you can feel it in your aura as a negative vibration. Now, you have another layer of aura called the mind, which is the mental aura, which is where you create thoughts. You use this for telepathy. You can receive thoughts from others. You can project thoughts to others. Even when you're calling somebody, they're calling you back simultaneously. And that's kind of telepathic rapport when people are very connected. So you have the mental aura, which is where you can sense thoughts or project thoughts or create thoughts. And then you have also, of course, your spiritual aura, which is now the aura of your soul enclosing you and making sure that you're alive. And when the person the soul wants to die, this energetic field is withdrawn, and the switching of the light anchored in here, and inside the head, which are the anchors of your emotional aura, your physical aura, and your mental aura, are detached during the dying process. So this is what we call out-of-body experience during meditation or when you are sleeping, and also in the dying process. So I'm connecting all of these because it has to be connected when you talk about enlightenment, when you talk about the energetic expression of sexual alchemy. Now, if you look at the caduceus that is used by the medical profession, it's a snakes going like this and a wing on top of the head, where expansion of light happens when you transmute this sexual energy with the sacred fire in your belly, will move upward. It's like in a yin and yang fashion, or feminine masculine fashion. They call it Ida in Pingala and yoga. When this energy moves up during transmutation process, when you sublimate this sexual energy, when you mix it by intentions or by a technique of breathing, when this energy aroused in the sexual region mixed with that sacred fire behind your navel and behind the base of the spine, called the sacred fire kundalini. Kundalini is a Sanskrit term for the sacred fire. And this will come out and up. As you bring it up, it will expand your mind and your consciousness above the head. It will explode in an ecstasy light, which you can experience ecstasy or spiritual ecstasy when you are more advanced, when you can bring the sexual pleasure energy during lovemaking into the energy above the head, and it goes to the soul. And it's the soul that experiences that ecstasy or divine ecstasy that saints and spiritual masters experience during meditation or during transmutation of sexual energy. So these are the things that we need to study. Now, the caduceus of the doctor has a center meridian, like a cane, where the two snakes are coming up. So that cane of light, or the pole of light, is inside your body from the top of the head to the perineum. Passing inside your body is the light that you can pass on, that alchemized energy at their sexual region, when you are transmuting the energy and it goes past the crown chakra. This energy here above the head. It's called the spiritual chakra, called the crown. This is what you see halo in saints or angels, and it's symbolized by the mitre of the Pope, the crowns of the Buddha. If you're fully enlightened, you have 1,000 eyes in the hat, or the headdress of pharaohs with the cobra and vulture's head here, or the Christ the King for Christianity has a crown. The chieftains of shamans, they have the feathers on the head, or they have the halo of the saint or the angel. These are all symbols of the spiritual center above the head, which expands and opens like a crown with golden hue and like a rainbow color when people get enlightened or expand consciousness during meditation or during transmutation of sexual energy. When this happens, there's like a rainbow color that's formed here, like a halo, that is more like gold and brilliant white light, but different colors. When you have so much divine light coming to your head, plus you have this sexual energy coming upward, when they mix, the divine light mixed with the sexual energy, it becomes alchemy. So alchemy, or sexual alchemy, is a process by which your soul light that's coming down, they call it the descent of the Holy Spirit in Christianity, or in Buddhism it's called the heaven chi, or ruach in Hebrew, or the divine light that goes here, symbolized by Prince Charming in the tales of the old. So the divine light that comes down here will come down to that staff that's called the middle of the caduceus and bring the light down to your sexual region. When the sex is aroused or very active, there's the awakening of that sacred fire and sexual energy more with the divine light, and this divine light mixed together can be transmuted upward and is called alchemy. So in the old story, the Prince Charming, which is symbolizing the divine light, will come down and kiss the sleeping beauty at the sexual region, and then they get married, and then they alchemize, and they're together as couple, and then they are gonna live happily ever after. That is the story that hides this alchemy. The Prince Charming is the divine light because it's a pure white light, and bringing the divine light to kiss the sleeping beauty, because in most people the sexual energy is asleep. It's like a coil of a snake design in the old designs, and when the divine light comes and electrocute that coil of light, it becomes awakened. The princess is awakened, the sleeping beauty is awakened, and the prince and the sleeping beauty will get married or alchemized. And that sexual alchemy, that fire in the belly that is accumulated with the alchemy, will be able to transmute together and expand consciousness, which creates enlightenment or expansion of consciousness. Using this concept, when you are sexually aroused, this sexual energy is produced much red, yellow, pink if you're in love, or golden energy hue at the above the perineum. Between the sexual organ and the base of the spine is the perineum, which is the anchor point of sexual energy and that sacred fire. It's almost connecting them together there. So the sexual energy is in the sexual region, in the reproductive system. When you are aroused and blood is circulating in that area, there's more energy and chi or prana or vitality that is awakening there. That's called arousal. And then that fire in the belly, which is the kundalini, and above the perineum and behind the base of the spine, is mixed together in a sexual arousal, and that increases your excitement, your ability to enjoy the pleasure. And that heat energy, which is more red, gold, and pink, and a little orange when you see it clairvoyantly, will be able to activate that fire in the belly. It's like combining together, it's like alchemizing together, and that mixture can be brought up to the top of the head for enlightenment to follow. That is why in the Egyptians, pharaohs, they have a round shape on top of the head, as that is the anchor of the soul in your consciousness. Then that expands to a brighter light above the crown when people bring that sublimated sexual energy to expand consciousness. So the soul being active above the crown, above the head, when this is fertilized, will be awakened, and that creates ecstasy or divine, I would say, bliss. So emotional happiness is here, joy is in your heart, and ecstasy is in the spiritual realm. Now, the sexual energy, when you are able to mix them through meditation, breathing, and many of my techniques, can be brought also that pleasurable substance to different parts of the body that creates what we call healthy stimulation of the organs to be healthier, revitalized, and rejuvenated. So if you bring the sexual energy that is mixed to your bone marrows inside the skeletal system, to your pelvic, to your rib cage, to the spine, to the shoulder blade area. That stimulates your immune system through the white blood cell stimulation inside the bones. As called bone marrow produces this white blood cell that creates your soldiers of the body. So if you have problems with immune system, if you have a weak and compromised defense system, this is one thing you can do. Instead of immediately going to orgasm and releasing your sexual energy during lovemaking, you can postpone it a little bit, accumulate that sexual pleasure, and imagine it going inside your base of the spine to your spine, to your pelvic area, to your rib cage, to your shoulder blade, to your bone marrows, and that will stimulate you to produce a strong immune system. So that will produce you a better fighting defense so that you will not get sick, especially with COVID-19 or HIV or other conditions. Another thing is you can bring that also to the organs that are failing. If you have a kidney failure or a weak heart, or you have a memory loss, if people have Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and senile decay, that is really the elixir to rejuvenate your brain cells, your neurons, and your mind and your brain, so that your memory will be empowered, your ability to think clearly, your ability to think faster, your creative energy will be empowered using that energy when this sexual alchemy is brought to the brain. And if you want to rejuvenate the liver, your spleen, and your kidneys, for example, you can bring this mentally, intentionally, directing that energy from the sexual region to those parts. So you can direct energy by your intentions. Energy follows your intentions. With breathing combined plus intentions, you can direct the sexual alchemy to rejuvenate your organs, even your nerves. If you have fibromyalgia or a damaged skin of your nervous system, and you're always in pain, you can rejuvenate those nerves that are not working well, especially if you have a herniated disc, or if you have an accident and you cut some of the nerves and they're not working, and so you have a paralysis. You can bring this one. I have done it many times for paralyzed victims who are even comatose, who have aneurysms and stroke, people who had accidents, they cannot move anymore. I revive a lot of their nerves and their bodies with this sexual energy and alchemize them into those organs. So if you want to prolong life, not only do you eat healthy food and also use vitamins to improve your prevention of diseases, you have also to use energy to revitalize internally your organs, because each organ has an aura. Each part and tissue of the body has an aura. These auras are the one that mechanically move your body with a program of movement. Your mind is sharpened by the energy through the brain, and also your emotions and feelings is stimulated and stabilized and healed through your heart and through your emotional aura. So these emotional aura, mental aura, and vitality aura can be revitalized using this positive sexual alchemy that you can circulate to all parts of the body. And if you know how to use the sexual arousal energy and not release, go to around 90-95% pleasure. Do not release through orgasm. Be patient and sustain it for a few minutes, and then extend it further and stay at 95% pleasure. If you can do that and fill up your aura with this pleasure energy, alchemized energy, I tell you, you can experience total body orgasm. Your whole body will be in pleasure. Even you do not release sexually through orgasm and climax, you will feel pleasure in your body and your cells and your organs and your consciousness for hours and hours. And this is what I've been teaching to people, and they are now so happy as couples, or if they are not married, as individuals. You can also do it to yourself even without a partner. It's in my book, The Sexual Alchemy. The Sexual Alchemy is a book that must have in your life if you want to enjoy longevity, awakening of higher consciousness, experiencing this different levels of orgasm. Not only total body orgasm, but you can have ecstasy if you can bring this pleasure energy to the spiritual centers towards your soul. You can expand your consciousness, and in even few days, expanding, you can experience this ecstasy that you cannot use any word to describe. It's more than sexual orgasm. sexual orgasm will not be, cannot match. There's no value replacement to that if you ever experience it. That's why yogis, masters of wisdom, these are their experiences. That's why they sometimes do not get married anymore, or they don't need any partner, because they experience this ecstasy and they can have pleasure in the whole body frame, the mental frame, the emotional frame, without any release. So in my longevity book, just to show you, you can learn how to live longer by using this sexual alchemized power, elixir of youth, to be able to bring stimulation into your cells, into your bone marrows, into your liver, into your spleen, to stimulate your immune system, your thymus gland in your chest for the killer cells to fight HIV, and your guts especially. You have 70% of your fighter cells can be manufactured and emanating from the guts, from your intestines. Your good bacteria is important for digestion and also for defense from diseases. When I used to teach HIV and AIDS healing in Africa, in Durban, in Cape Town, even in Joburg, and even in Mozambique, and everywhere. I used to teach in Brazil, in the US, in New York. I have a center in New York. I used to teach this to people with HIV who are still stage 1 and stage 2, and they start to recover. Because the HIV and AIDS, it takes 10 years for a person to die, because it's a lentivirus, it's a slow-acting virus. So when they use this one in a few years, they started to reverse their aging. They started to remove a lot of their viral load. Their viral went down, their white blood cells, their killer cells, the T3, T4, T8s are empowered by a number of counts drastically. That's why you can visit my YouTube channel on HIV/AIDS in Africa. I have a lot of good cases there, and also in New York and Brazil, in India, and also for diabetics. See, the killer diseases are either heart disease is number 1, and stroke, aneurysm, and also the third is COPD from smoking and emphysema. The third is the lower respiratory tract infection and this disorder, and of course the Alzheimer's. We have also Parkinson's and senile decay, and then you have cancer, and you have even diarrhea and accidents and so on. So it's not COVID-19 that's the top killer for now. It is the insulin resistance, combining cardiovascular, hypertension, diabetes, and so on. So these constellations of diseases is called insulin. It comes from insulin resistance, and it's a metabolic disease. It's from non-communicable diseases, but these can be, I would say, healed or partially improved by using this technique of this sexual alchemy transmutation technique. So if you are able to learn this and rejuvenate your failing kidney, say if your kidneys are not working well and you need dialysis, or you need to take soda just to neutralize your acidity there, or your gastrointestinal disorder, if you have that, or a weak heart, or a very bad liver, or a weak digestions, and or starting to lose your memory, or your sharpness in the mind is starting to go down, or you have a lot of the hormonal imbalances and menopause, perimenopause, or if you're starting to grow old faster, you need this technique. And if you can learn it in a more systematic way, because this is only 45 minutes of talking about enlightenment and also on the extending your lifespan, or using this elixir. I don't have all the time to explain the details of step-by-step sequence, but I can give you today a little example how to use this one to be able to say, clear up first your mind, your emotions, your stress, your fatigue, because you cannot arouse your sexual energy and distribute it everywhere if you have so much stress, a lot of negative emotions, negative thoughts, because the sexual energy is also a fertilizer. The sexual energy can arouse your immune system, but it can also stimulate the latent negative energy in your emotions to become amplified for the time being and exacerbate a lot of your other emotional issues. So first you have to clean a lot of your emotional problems, your stress, your tension, your anxiety, your depression, all things that blocks you to live longer. You need to express it out and release them. And your stress in your shoulder, your abdomen, your back, you should release them first, and then you can add your sexual alchemy technique. So during lovemaking or during arousal stage, you shouldn't have many blockages in your spine. Your neck is so tense, your thyroid is blocked, that's why you're gaining weight. And sometimes you have more visceral fats growing here because you are not metabolizing and you're not converting the fuel from food into energy circulation. That's why it stays as fats. So if you want me, aside from summarizing what I said about longevity and enlightenment, I will give you some techniques. Anyway, you can visit my website, masterdelpe.com, masterdelpe.com, and if you see any strategy you might need, you can have a free consultation from us for 30 minutes, no charge, no string attached, and we can direct you to what things you need. Or we can scan your energy clairvoyantly and psychically as like an X-ray vision, and we can see all your energies, your aura, and your what we call chakras or centers of energy. That is the one that are the ones stimulating your glands. Like this is energy here to stimulate your pineal gland. There's a chakra here, an energy center here that stimulates your nervous system and memory, and also your limbic system, your emotional brain. And women, they have more pleasure and pain centers in the brain, like 4 versus men that has only 1. So your limbic system is the emotional brain where you sensitize your emotions and your pleasure and pain. So women can have multi-orgasms, as they say, and men can only have 1 shot, because women are most susceptible to stimulus, to pain or pleasure. That's why you have more sensitivity to pleasure or pain more than men. That's why women have more capacity to enjoy lovemaking and sexuality in a different, profound way, more than men, who is just sometimes one-shot deal. Women are still feeling all the pleasure around the energy, and men are already snoring because they just get knocked down because they release in a one-shot, and they don't know how to be aware of their feelings and energy. That's why in my book, there are a lot of questions by a lot of men why the women are enjoying more than men in the longer way, and why the women more sensitive to feel pleasure around their body, experiencing more total body orgasm than men. There are more women that can experience total body orgasm, or the orgasm in your body frame and your consciousness and bliss, because they are more sensitive to energy and they are more diffused in attention when people are having orgasm. It's easier for a woman to have heart orgasm by being aware here during orgasm. Men are focused more on the sexual region during the explosive experience. And women can also feel in their emotional aura the pleasure, and they can feel the vibrations in the entire system. So these are all possible through sexual alchemy. And before I end, I have a few minutes to demonstrate to you how do you clean your aura, how do you unblock your mind and emotions, how do you release your stress quickly, and how do you increase your sexual alchemy fire in your belly so that you can live longer and you can arouse your sexual energy faster than normal and increase your lifespan, and also the power to transmute the sexual enemy, and the sexual energy can be your fuel to expansion of consciousness that leads to enlightenment. Or it can also prolong your lifespan through organic stimulation and improving your body frame and your physical body. All right, let me take my chair and I will demonstrate to us a few breathing techniques, okay? Bear with me. Okay, you can sit straight spine, and you can just put your hands like this, left over right, the thumbs together, left over right, and your navel. Okay, you press your navel so that you can focus there. Okay, so I want you first to concentrate on your navel. This is the energy that increases your fire in the belly. If you have heard about fire in the belly, when you have a lot of fire in the belly, you become very magnetic. Your sexual charisma, your presence, your auric presence is very profound, that people can feel you when you walk by. When you are around, people are happy, they feel empowered without talking. And when you speak, people listen, because your energy has power through that energy. When you sing, it doesn't only come from the neck and the throat when you sing. Your voice can go more profound, by that sexual energy coming out when you're singing. I used to talk to Andre Bocelli and in his house in Italy, and I used to talk about this to him, and he said that the best singer usually can concentrate from here upward, not only here or here. So even him, he has been studying the power of voice through using the sexual energy, and he's even practiced some mantra to practice his voice. So I was interacting with him about this, and I know how his voice vibrate not only from here but from his energy field. All right, so I want you to put your left hand over the right, concentrate on your navel, and inhale and exhale slowly and relax. You center yourself here. This is the center of performance, of energy and stamina and long life. This is the center of long life energy. That's why when people commit suicide, they puncture with a dagger their navel and then they die afterwards. The harikiri of Japan, this is where they hit with a dagger. Now this is the center that you connected to your mother inside the womb. When it's disconnected, there's still an energy connection to the universal life force around you. So when you focus here, it activates your universal life force and also your sexual energy for longevity, okay? All right, close your eyes. I want you to just bear your mind, focus your mind on your navel. Breathe slowly. Nothing else in your mind. I just want to do it so 2 minutes just for your practice. You can do it for 5 minutes every day to increase your lifespan. Do it every day for 5-10 minutes. If you're tired, fatigued. But today we'll only do it 2 minutes for practice. Breathe, focus on your navel. If your mind wanders away, you bring it back to your navel, breathing, concentration. Okay, open your eyes. Now this is a sample. To live longer, you need to bring this practice every day, even for 5 minutes a day before you go to work. Increase your vitality and stamina. And this will center your consciousness to be able to clear your mind and not to be emotional. It reduces your anxiety, your depression, and also it is for long life technique. It's all in my book, but just for your information. Now, another thing that I usually teach people is how to clear your mind, your brain, and align your hormonal balance, your thymus for your immune system, pituitary gland, thymus gland. This will align your hormones and align your consciousness emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. These are centers of energy that stimulates the gland and your consciousness. All right? I want you to just continue. Inhale up through your nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth. Continue. Chin up, chin in. One more. Okay, when you do this, you chin up, chin in, exhale to your mouth, nose, inhale, mouth. Okay? You practice this 10 to 15 times. That's one set. And then press the center of your chest, the center between the eyebrows, top of the head. Put your hands again on your navel. Close your eyes. Concentrate on the press points. Chest center, mid-brow, top of the head. Concentrate on these points. It will stimulate your glands, your thymus gland for the immune system, pituitary for directing your glands and hormones, pineal gland for happy hormones and sleep, melatonin hormone, and this will also awaken your soul connection for intuition and wisdom. Close your eyes. Concentrate now to the 3 points, on the 3 points, and breathe slowly. Nothing else. Continue closing your eyes and concentrating on the points, aligning your consciousness. Again, open your eyes. Okay, you follow me again. Okay, 10 times. Ready? Start. Again, head straight. Concentrate again on the chest center, mid-brow point, top of the head point, simultaneously. Close your eyes. Concentrate gently on the 3 points. These are the 3 centers of energy, stimulating the balance of your hormones, awakening the emotional, mental, and spiritual intelligence and consciousness. Breathe slowly. Align your consciousness. Meditate and concentrate. Imagine that you are enclosed with the brilliant light of your mind, your mental aura, also emotional light, your emotional aura, your feelings aura, and your vitality aura closer to your body. These are like an inverted egg shape, concentric circles, penetrating your body, your consciousness with these 3 layers of aura. And of course, the bigger aura is from your soul and divine light. These are all the energy fields which you will play and energize to be healthy, to live a long life, and to have enlightenment. Breathe slowly, as if you are aware of these energy fields. Your spiritual aura, enclosing everything, your mental aura, your emotional aura, your vitality aura, and your physical body inside. Breathe slowly to balance all the auras, to improve your health and longevity, and also to expand your consciousness. Bring the divine light down to the top of the head, cascading to your entire aura, entering your body, and inside your body there's a pole of light like the caduceus of the doctor. This pole of light connects your soul to your sacred fire and your sexual energy. Allow this brilliant light, imagine it, coming down, cascading into your aura, and penetrating the central area of your body like a conduit of light entering down to the sexual region to heal your sexual energy, your sexual blockages, and also to have this spiritual energy alchemized with your sexual energy and your sacred fire above the perineum. Allow this to happen now and feel that connectivity with your soul, and your Prince Charming light is kissing your sleeping beauty and your sexual region. Okay, open your eyes. This is just a rapid demonstration of the technique. I wish I had more time to explain to you all of these, but you can visit masterdelpe.com and download my books. The Sexual Alchemy and Divine Intimacy book is a complete treatise of how to use your sexual energy for your greatest good and to live your greatest life. Also, the Higher Science of Longevity is in the website, download, about how to prolong your life through many techniques used by Asian masters and super centenarians. And you can also avail of our techniques by going to weedglobal.com. Weedglobal.com. A lot of our heal plan will include sexual alchemy and prolonging your life and divine intimacy. So I hope I have contributed to you today, and I hope your lifespan increases every day. and also your ability to enjoy and have fun. Especially during this time that life is difficult, you need to reverse a lot of your subconscious way of feeling all the difficulties and challenges by allowing yourself to enjoy life, expand your consciousness, and also live long and live your greatest life. Blessings to all of you. Good luck.